place name Crooke probably derives from the Norse word croc, meaning bend, referring to the settlement's position on a bend in the River Douglas. The Crooke estate was part of the Manor of Shevington and was owned by various wealthy families over the centuries, including the Catterall family, who owned the estate from 1421 to 1713. They built Crooke Hall in 1608. At this time, Crooke was a very small settlement, mainly based around the hall and farming on the estate. Small-scale coal mining had gone on in Shevington and Standish for many centuries, but the Industrial Revolution increased demand from coal in the 1700s. The River Douglas was made navigable from 1742, and with the expansion of mining in the area, Crooke started to become an important hub in the transportation of coal, where coal was transferred from horse and cart and later basic tramways onto boats. The Leeds-Liverpool Canal opened in the 1780s and superseded the River Douglas navigation. In 1807, the Standish Coal Company built a canal tunnel which allowed direct loading onto boats underground inside their coal mine. The boats were then walked out of the tunnel onto a branch canal before joining the Leeds to Liverpool Canal, where the present-day Crooke Marina is situated. This tunnel canal was eventually abandoned in 1850, as seams at that level were exhausted. Other pits in the area constructed tramways from local pits down to Crooke, using the sloping ground to move coal wagons down to the canal. Tramways were later superseded by mineral railways, which crossed Wigan Lower Road via the so-called Red Brick Bridge and led down to a coal tippler at Crooke, which loaded coal barges from 1859. Major pits in the area included John Pit, Taylor Pit and Giant's Hall Colliery. At its height, 20 barges, each carrying up to 80 tons, were loaded each day at Crooke Pier. As a result, Crooke's population expanded in the second half of the 19th century. With increased population and housing came new facilities such as chapels and schools. The Church of England established a mission church with a school attached in 1845, but the building had to be closed in 1887 due to subsidence and flooding. The Methodist chapel, built in 1867, is still a place of worship in the village. The board school, built in 1876, closed as a school in 1985, but is now used as a nursery. Crooke Hall also suffered from subsidence and flooding, and was demolished in 1937. The population of Crooke peaked around 1900 at over 600 people, and has declined since then. There are now around 120 residents in 62 properties. The declining size of the village mirrored the decline in the area's coal industry. By 1961, all the local pits had closed, and the Red Brick Bridge was demolished in 1966. In 1975, the village was served with a compulsory purchase order by Wigan Council with a view to demolition. But the residents mobilised and formed their own housing cooperative to preserve the houses. Those properties have recently been taken over by Adactus Housing Association. Today, Crooke is a pleasant rural retreat, hidden away down a back road. Few traces remain of its industrial past, with the canal now a focus for leisure activities such as walking, running, cycling, fishing, marina facilities, and a thriving residents association dedicated to improving community spirit and local facilities.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted that I've been asked by the Lord Lieutenant Warren Smith to represent him this afternoon to be able to unveil this stone to commemorate Her Majesty the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. I'm enormously proud to do it. Her Majesty the Queen's Diamond Jubilee stone in Crooke Village.
The actors encouraged us to form the Residents Association, which I think that was 2008-2009, and basically we are only concerned in the improvement of the facilities in the village and the community spirit. And the work that we try to do is to bring the people together more, but also to improve the facility that we've got. There are a number of achievements. One is we have a website which is acknowledged to be an exceptionally good one. In the village itself, a lot of the footpaths have been maintained, have been widened, have better access. We are working on a wood, a local wood, Lawns Wood. We're working on getting funding to improve the paths in there. We hold monthly meetings in the Crooke Hall Inn. At the end of the meeting there is a film show which normally is historical, and there is a free buffet, and this has encouraged the local people to become involved. A lot of the areas in the village, the interpretation board, and in the area where the coal tippler used to be, we've improved that. We've made it that it's a visitor type area. We are looking at producing QRs, quick response signs in the village, which will link people who've got the right kind of mobile phone to get information on that particular location. We are represented on the Shevington Parish Council by a co-opted member. We are also represented on the Shevington and District Community Association. We managed to get a licence from Wigan Council to maintain the land that they own in the village, and that means keeping the place tidy. We became volunteers for British Waterways, and that allowed us to paint the bridge and the surrounding woodwork, keeping the canal bank tidy. We do litter picks regular. So lots of little jobs, some quite big ones. But the future, again, there's all sorts of plans. Nothing major, but all to make it nicer living here. You look round you and this is what it's like all the time, and it's just like a little haven, no through traffic, a few boats going past and peaceful.